Everybody wake up.
It's nighttime.
Everybody wake up. It's nighttime. Everybody wake up. It's nighttime. Everybody wake up. Everybody wake up. Everybody wake up. It's nighttime. Open up the doors. Let everybody in. Ready for an adventure. It's about to begin. We're going somewhere that we've never been before. I can't wait to see what God has in store. So put your cell phones down and swipe time. This is all about Jesus Christ time. 'Cause he's the way and the truth and the lifeline. Hands in the air, nighttime, high time. I got armor, yes I do. I got armor, how about you?
I got armor, yes I do. I got armor, how about you?
I got armor, yes I do. I got armor, how about you?
I got armor, yes I do. I got armor, how about you?
We got armor, yes we do. We got armor, how about you?
We do, yeah. We do,
I see that we got armor, yes we do. We got armor, how about you?
We do, yeah. We do.
Nighttime, nighttime, now's the right time. Nighttime, nighttime, let's get hype time. Nighttime, nighttime, now's the right time. Hands in the air, it's nighttime, hype time. Nighttime, nighttime, now's the right time. Nighttime, nighttime, let's get hype time. Nighttime, nighttime, now's the right time. Hands in the air, it's nighttime, hype time. We are the Knights of North Castle. We are the Knights of North Castle. We are the Knights of North Castle. We are Knights of North Castle. We are the Knights of North Castle. We are the Knights of North Castle. We are the Knights of North Castle. We are Knights of North Castle.
Good morning, Knights, and welcome back to North Castle. I can't believe it's already day 4. This week has flown by. We have done so much good work this week. We've been on some serious quests, and I know that Knight Alexander and Knight Henry and Sparky have another quest for us today. I hope you're ready. Let's see what they're up to and what they have in store for us.
Hello, Knights. You may notice that I am wearing a blindfold.
Sparky, what are you doing? The Knights are over there.
What's that? Over here? Oh, I knew that. Anyway, it's great to see you. I mean, hear and smell you. I can tell someone had delicious pancakes this morning.
Sparky, why do you have a blindfold on? And you can't smell the Knights through the camera.
Well, I took your advice and put a freeze on my jokes.
Okay, but why the blindfold?
You know my good friend Melvin, don't you?
He's a northern bat, isn't he?
Yes. Northern bats are the only bats that live above the Arctic Circle. Like all bats, he uses a sonar system to fly around at night. Since I don't have sonar, I'm trying to see how well I would do if I had to rely just on my hearing and smell.
Okay, Sparky, if that's true, can you tell me what I'm wearing right now? What color my shoes are? And maybe how many fingers I'm holding up?
Absolutely. Just relying on my super sensing ears and nose, I can tell that you are wearing a bright green parka, you have on fuzzy pink slippers, and you are holding up 11 fingers.
Well, Sparky, that's amazing.
Thank you. It's a gift.
No, I think he meant that's amazing, as in every word in that sentence was wrong.
Are you sure? Did I get it all wrong? Well, maybe I need to work more on my skills.
Good idea.
That feels better. It's not easy when you can't see.
No, it really isn't. Well, Sparky, I know that you can do a lot of awesome things, so let's do something that you're good at. Could you remind us of our banner verse for the week?
Oh, that's easy. Our banner verse is Ephesians 6:10. It says, "Be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his power."
You got it, Sparky. Are you ready for something else I know you can do well?
Sure, I'm on a roll.
Can you interpret the 4th riddle for me? You're the only one I know who can read this ancient dragon language. It's over there in the King's Book.
Wow, this one seems a little strange.
Well, what does it say?
The strangest riddle we've had so far.
Come on, Sparky, what does it say?
Maybe I read it wrong. Could it be a joke?
Sparky, just tell us what it says.
Oh, it says, The shield of faith is not found yet. Direct your search for feet so wet.
Feet so wet. That really is strange.
Exactly what I said.
Well, it looks like we're on a quest to find the shield of faith today.
And to find it, we look for wet feet. There are some animals that keep their feet in the water a lot, like flamingos.
Yeah, but I don't really think there are any flamingos over there in the King's book, except for maybe that story about Noah's Ark. There sure was a lot of water in that story. I think that we're going to have to look for maybe a person or people with wet feet.
Well, I know there were people like John the Baptist who spent a lot of time in the water. Also, the Israelites walked through the Red Sea, but that was on dry ground. How about Jesus washing other people's feet? Their feet would be wet.
That's true. But if we're looking for a story about faith, I think I know the story we need to read. It's a story about someone who actually walked on water.
On the water? Was he walking on a frozen pond?
No, he was actually walking on water, on a lake actually. Sparky, why don't you take a look inside the King's book?
That story is amazing. Did that actually happen?
It sure did. Jesus was able to walk on water because, well, he's God's son. But when Peter did it, that was truly miraculous.
I can't wait to learn more about this story and find the shield of faith.
Looks like we're ready to go.
All right, kids, let's stand up and sing a song.
We're on a noble journey, protected by the King of Kings. Jesus calls and we will follow, 'cause we've been given all we need. We are the Knights of North Castle. We are ready for battle, wherever we go. We know that we won't ever be shaken. We wear the armor that saves us. Oh, we are the Knights of North Castle. We got the sword of the Spirit, the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation, and the breastplate of justice, and the belt of truth, the shoes of peace to go spread the good news. The sword of the Spirit, the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation, and the breastplate of justice, and the belt of truth, the shoes of peace to go spread the good news. We're ready to go spread the good news. We are the Knights of North Castle. We are ready for battle, wherever we go. We know that we won't ever be shaken. We wear the armor that saves us. Oh, we are the Knights of North Castle. We are the Knights of North Castle.
Good morning. Well, it's Pastor Patrick here with another Bible story and apparently the worst tie-dye job in all of VBS. Well, I'm excited to share a new Bible story with you this morning. Now, if you remember yesterday, we talked about how baby Jesus was born. And before he was born, an angel appeared to Mary, Jesus' mother, and said that you are going to have a baby, and it's going to be a special baby, that you're going to name him Jesus, and this is going to be God's presence in the world in a new way. That suddenly this baby is going to be how God is bringing life and light into the world, that the hungry will be fed, the injustices of the world will be brought to justice, that things are going to change in this world for good because of what this baby does. Well, after that very artistic expression of the nativity yesterday, we now enter a story in which Jesus is no longer a baby, but grown up. Now, this is going to be my Jesus today. This is a statue I got from a country in Haiti. This person carved it out, and so this is going to be my Jesus. Now, Jesus was teaching a lot of people about how to love God and how to love their neighbor as themselves and how to feed people when they're hungry, how to help them if they're sick. And after he's teaching a whole crowd of thousands and thousands of people, they were hungry. And then Jesus didn't just talk about giving people food, he fed them. Somehow he fed thousands and thousands of people with fish and bread. And so he fed them all. And then after he fed them, he told his disciples to go get in a boat and go to the other side of the sea. And he was going to stay here for a little while to pray. So I need to find my disciples. Here. Aha. The disciples in a boat. There. See, it's a little boat. And here are their paddles. Here's a paddle. Here's a paddle, and they're rowing. Row, row, row your boat gently down the sea. Okay, that's enough. Well, they're rowing, and they're on the Sea of Galilee, all of them packed in here, all the disciples. And on the sea are other boats, like here's a boat. It's out in the sea too. That's a very sophisticated boat for its time. Of course, it's the sea, so we have to have little sea creatures here, like orca whales. I'm sure they were in the Sea of Galilee, and great white sharks. They were obviously in the Sea of Galilee. Blue shark. We like sharks in my house. So here's another shark. Sharks are fish, technically. They may not be in the Sea of Galilee, but use your imagination. And let's see if I can find another sea creature. A whale shark. Okay, well, fish in the Sea of Galilee. Since we're all on the sea here, I'm going to change into my sea captain outfit here. Make sure I get into the spirit of the role. Aha! Now, let's go into the story, shall we? Now, the disciples are in the boat, and all of a sudden, as night falls on the land and on the sea, the wind starts to come through and get the waters all rocky. I don't know last night if you heard storms come through. It woke me up. It was lots of rain and lots of wind and thunder and lightning. It's kind of scary, but I was just inside my house, and it was still scary. Can you imagine being in a boat when a storm comes and you're just rocking to and fro and feel like you're about to fall out? It's got to be super scary. Especially when their friend Jesus, very important person who has lots of love and power from God, isn't with you. Well, Jesus is over here. He went up on a mountain to pray after the disciples went into the boat. And he stayed there on land, on the mountain to pray even while the storms were raging. And finally, Jesus, right before morning, right before dawn, decides to go out to the boat. But he doesn't have a boat of his own. So what does he do? My man Jesus just decides he'll just take a nice casual stroll through the storm on the water. No waves are going to sink him. He's just strolling towards the boat. And as he gets near the boat, everyone in the boat sees someone walking on the water. And instead of saying, hey, look at this, that's so cool, somebody's walking on the water, instead they get really scared and go, someone's walking on the water! It must be a ghost! It must be a ghost! Huh? So you get the idea. They're all very scared. And Jesus comes close and he says, I'm not a ghost. It's me, Jesus, your friend. And they're like, huh? 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 It's Jesus. How is he walking on the water? How is he doing that? And then Peter, we're going to say this is Peter. Stay right there, Jesus. Peter, he is very curious and he cries out. He says, Jesus, is it really you? And Jesus says, it is really me. And Peter's not sure. And so he says, Jesus, if it's really you, call me out to the water and I'll come. Now, I don't know why Peter thought like that was the thing to do. Like, Jesus, prove yourself. And by calling me, go step out on the water. It's a very brave thing of Peter. It's almost like he knew that if it's really Jesus, Jesus would ask him to do something that showed great courage. And so that's what Jesus did. Jesus says, it's really me, Peter. Come, meet me on the water. And so Peter gets super brave. Somehow that inner hero starts to come out. Check it out. Ba-ba-boom. Do-do-do-doom. Do-do-do-dum. Can you see that? The inner hero, cape and all, comes out in Peter. And he's like, I'm brave. I'm coming out to you, Jesus. And he gets out of the boat and he steps onto the water. and he starts to go to Jesus. And then he starts to look around and like, oh, I'm actually walking on the water, and it's stormy, and I don't feel so brave anymore. And the inner hero kind of goes out, and his courage starts to fail, and he starts to sink in the water and get afraid, and he sinks, and then as he's sinking, he cries out, Jesus, save me! And when Jesus hears his cries, he immediately goes and pulls Peter out of the water and carries him to the boat. And they all get in the boat together. And Jesus says to Peter, don't freak out, man. It's me. It's Jesus. You can trust me. Even if you're standing on the waves in a storm, you can trust me. Well, that's a pretty crazy story, isn't it? Now, I would not try walking on water by yourself necessarily, unless you're really good at swimming or you have awesome floaties on. But I will say that Jesus does call us in the middle of storms in our life, things that make us afraid, that are kinds of scary. Jesus helps us see that Jesus is with us. We're never alone. And that Jesus calls us to step out in faith and courage, to do some amazing acts of love, knowing that Jesus is right there to love us and love the world through us. And in that way, we can calm storms together in our world. Well, thanks for joining us for this special story.
Well, thank you, Pastor Patrick. And I have to admit, you're not the only one that ended up with a really bad tie-dye job. This is a different shirt. This isn't the one I tried. So if you're having a little bit of bad luck with yours, it's okay. We all did. We can keep trying and trying new ideas. Well, speaking of new ideas, Dylan, our science guy, he's got some crazy activity for you to try today. Let's see how this works so you can try it at home.
Hey friends, Dylan again with science. Sorry for that slow walk on by myself. I was carrying this nice tub filled with water, which is actually for our science experiment today. Now, if you're doing this at home right now or later, I would actually recommend doing this in either a bathtub or a kiddie pool, or if you have a pool at your house, great, do it there too. Just because it's going to be a little bit more dramatic. Now, Patrick had a great story talking about Jesus and Peter walking on water, which is truly miraculous, right? And so we're going to try to recreate that. Now, of course, we can't really walk on water, but we are going to create a jet-powered boat that is able to glide across the water, just like perhaps Jesus or Peter would have back in the day. So in order to do this, you're probably seeing that I'm taking out quite a few different materials that we're going to need for our experiment. But the main ones that you should have in your VBS bag that you probably don't have at home is going to be your blue tack, crucial to this experiment, some type of funnel, let's see, food coloring as well, and tape. But things that you should probably have at home is vinegar and plenty of water. So to get started on this experiment, we are actually going to need to take a water bottle. A little thirsty, I'm going to get a quick drink. And for me, I'm just going to go in and pour it into our tub of water right here. And then after that, go ahead and put your cap aside. We'll need that in a second. You can go ahead and take off your water bottle label. Looks like this is Ice Mountain, fresh spring water, not sponsored. But we'll put that water bottle right there. And then we're going to go back to our cap. And here's where we're definitely going to need some type of parent to help you out. We're going to need to drill a hole somehow through the center of the cap that is going to be big enough to put a plastic straw through, okay? So for me, I don't actually have a drill with me. It'll be easier if you do. Something else that you could use is a nail. That totally works, and a hammer. But I have this X-Acto knife, so I'm going to do a small cut through it. Part of the way, at least. And that works just fine, but from the power of preparing ahead, I actually did one already. So we're going to skip that step. And as you can see, I have a cap right here that should have a small hole straight through it that'll work for a straw to be able to fit through. Okay, so once you have that part done, go ahead and take your straw, and again, through the power of preparing ahead, we're going to cut it in half. So take your X-Acto knife or scissors, whatever you need. Probably not a drill to cut through the straw. Scissors would work a lot better. But go ahead and cut that straw in half, And if you have a bendy straw, we're going to discard that bendy part. We don't want the bendy part. We want the nice, flush, straight straw. And we're going to go in and stick that through our plastic bottle cap that we cut a hole through, about halfway. And once you have that halfway, go in and get out that blue tack and just take off a generous strip. And then right now, we're going to just mold the tack into kind of like a snake almost, just probably about 2 inches long. And then we're going to actually roll it around the outside of our cap so that we create a seal on both sides. If you can kind of see that there. Yeah, perfect. We're trying to seal in the air so air doesn't get out or in. And then we're going to do the same thing, get another generous piece of our blue tack, mold it into a snake-like shape. And then on the other side, do the same thing, create another seal. Perfect. And we're actually making this seal because in order to power our jet-powered boat, it does take a little bit of science. We're going to create a chemical reaction out of two different things, a base and an acid. So for our base, I have baking soda, and for my acid, I have some white vinegar. Right here. Baking soda right here too. So we're going to need about a tablespoon of baking soda. You can just kind of guesstimate on that. It doesn't need to be exact. So I'm going to leave that aside in just a second. But we do need to be somewhat exact on our vinegar. So we're going to measure out 1.5 cups of vinegar. And just a little bit more. Okay, perfect. Then go ahead and pour it into a bowl or something else. You know what? I could have probably just mixed it into that measuring cup too. That would have worked. But go ahead and grab some food coloring. And this is just to make our experiment a little bit more dramatic, because when it eventually does shoot out of our bottle, it's going to look a lot cooler. So you can put as much or as little in there as you want. I got some blue food coloring. I'm going to mix it around. Looks a little bit more like water. Sweet. Discard that spoon. And I'm going to carefully pour this actually back into my measuring device, because I think it's going to be easier to deal with. Keep the bowl over there on the side. Now we have our vinegar ready to go. Here's where your funnel comes into play. So go ahead and grab a funnel. Looks like I have this metal one right here. Carefully position that on top of your water bottle. And then we're going to pour in our vinegar and food coloring solution. Okay, perfect. That's probably enough there. We want to get our bottle about halfway full. A little bit more is totally fine, but we do want to leave a little bit of air in there as well. Then I'm going to discard this and put this to the side. Okay. Now, here's where you can create another funnel. This one's going to need to be made out of paper. So I already did this ahead of time. Just get a piece of tape, tape together a funnel. Make sure that you measure it so that it's going to be able to fit inside the plastic bottle that you have. But once you have that ready to go, get our lid ready to go. Let's double check this again. And while I'm checking this, unlike Sparky, I did not put a freeze on the jokes today, so I do have a few more coming right at you. First one, what do you do if your boat's sick? Where do you take it? The dock. But careful, if that dock is part of a pier and you have too many people on that pier, it could fall to peer pressure. Peer pressure, get it? Yep. Okay, so I'm just going to double check this, make sure that it's all good to go. Looks great. We're going to take out a tablespoon of baking soda. Again, I'm just guesstimating, doesn't need to be perfectly exact. And here's where having a partner would be extremely helpful. So if you have two people at home, have one person hold the funnel, the other person dump in the baking soda. But I'm going to have to go super fast here, okay? Because as soon as I dump in this baking soda into the water bottle, it's going to start reacting right away, producing carbon dioxide, expanding, and trying to push out of the water bottle. So I'm going to carefully put the baking soda in, put the cap on, and then put it in our tub of water, and hopefully it floats around like a little jet-powered boat. So are we ready? And 3, 2, 1. There we go. What's science without a little bit of mess and fun? If you can see here, it looks like our boat's going around all by itself. Now, if you're in a bathtub or a pool, you know what's super awesome? is that it can go all around by itself and you don't even have to change the direction. But for me, yeah, I'm moving it all around. A little bit of a mess up here, but you know what? That's science. So thanks, friends, for joining us today. It was a ton of fun. It's probably going to be a little bit of a longer transition so that we can clean this up.
Wow. Sorry, parents. I'm going to tell you right now, I know you're not going to love this mess. The food coloring might stain your tub, so if you don't want to do the food coloring, that's okay, or just be ready to clean. So today, I think we're going to have to change out our tablecloth because I think our science project made a bit of a mess. Well, I know as Matt comes to tell us our art project, show us our art project today, even Sparky saw it earlier and said, wow, that's pretty cool. I think you guys are going to enjoy making today's special art project.
Woo! Smells like vinegar up here. Oh, always a fun time coming right after science, I tell you. All right, welcome, Knights, to art. We got our final art project of the week. I'm getting ready. Let's talk about our Bible story today. So today we learned about a time when Jesus walked on water. And what a wonderful example to remind us of how God's strength can give us the faith to remind us that God is with us and can help us do anything. Today for our art project, we're going to be making our very own shield of faith. And for this, you'll need some cardboard. I've got mine already pre-cut, but I'll talk about that in a second. We'll need some aluminum foil, and then some tape, which I think Dylan borrowed for our science project, but that's okay, and some colored markers maybe. And then if you have any leftover gems, you can use those as well, or any other decorations you want to put. Oh, thank you, Dylan. Perfect. All right, so first thing you're going to want to do is cut out a shield shape on your cardboard. And I think what's easiest to do first is to trace the shape out first and then cut it out. Along with that shield shape, you're going to also want to cut out 2 rectangular pieces of cardboard. Okay? Once you have those, you're going to cover all 3 of those pieces in aluminum foil. Now again, just like your science projects, I think it's best and more fun to have adult supervision with this. But I'm going to skip the covering with foil just to save time right now. So pretend these are all covered in shiny foil. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to make some folds in these. Kind of like, I don't know what shape that would be. Maybe like I don't know. I can try to guess. But so it can go up here. And what this is going to make is when we make this shape is a bit of a handle on there. Once we have that shape, we can tape it on, which I think the tape will work a little better when you have aluminum foil on there. And then with the second one, do the same thing again. So we've got a nice set of handles there on our shield. And again, ideally, we would have put the aluminum foil on first. That will, I think, be the easiest way to do this. All right, perfect. So now I've got a way to hold up my shield of faith. Once I've got that taped on, I can go ahead and go on the other side, and I can start decorating. Now, you can use this however you want. You want to personalize the shield to fit your personality and what means most for you. I've already got a shield made for you, and it's a fairly simple shield, but still, you can see how on this shield we've got 4 quadrants of peace, truth, faith, and justice. Kind of like our themes this week we've had for VBS. And when you hang this on your wall or wear it or use it for however you want to use it, let it remind you of God's strength to help give you faith, to help us remind us that we can do anything through God's strength. All right, thanks, Knights.
Borrow that shield? I sure do need a new one. It looks so cool. I lost mine the other day in a big storm here at the North Castle, but this looks pretty nice to me. Peace, truth, faith, and justice. Can't wait to see what your guys look like today. Looks like it's my favorite time of VBS again. Time to eat some food. Let's let Holly let us know what we're going to have for our snack today.
All right, guys, we've got a treat for you today. We're going to stick with that shield theme today. So we're going to make sugar cookies. And there's a recipe that you guys got, or you can just buy the sugar cookie dough already made, whatever you want. You're going to need some icing and food coloring. And we're going to use our little bag trick again. Let's see if I got all my stuff here today. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with our sugar cookie dough. So once you have that made, we're going to roll it out. So you might take a little bit of flour, which I forgot today. So we're just going to hope it doesn't stick too bad. Once you get this rolled out to however thick you want, you're going to take a knife and we're going to make a shield. So you can make as many of them as you want or as you have for dough. You can make them as big or as small as you want. Just remember that when they bake, they're going to spread out just a little bit. So once you get those cut out, you cut those. Have mom or dad or grandma or whoever's helping you help you with the baking part. So you don't want to be putting your hands in the oven without some help. So put those on your baking sheet. That one didn't turn out quite as well, and then you're going to bake them. And once they're done and once they're cooled, which through the magic power of doing this ahead of time, you can see what we have. So see how they spread out just a little bit? All right, here comes the next part. We're going to decorate our shields. So I have some blue icing today that's already made for me. And then I have some white, and I am going to make it yellow. So I am going to put some icing in my little bowl here. And I'm going to put some food coloring in it. And try to mix it. All right. Now, once you have your icing colors all mixed, we're going to make our little piping bags again, and you guys get to decorate your cookies any way you want to. So we're going to do mine yellow and blue today. So we got the yellow in our bag, and then we're going to get some blue in our bag. And this is where you get to get really creative. You could do 1 color, 2 colors, 5 colors, whatever you have, whatever creative ways you guys can do it. I've seen some of your piece cakes from yesterday. You guys are really creative. All right, so then you can just take your bag and you can pipe along the outside to decorate your shields. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make 4 quadrants. And I'm going to make 1 blue, and this one blue, and then I'm going to use my yellow, and fill that in. And then if you want to, you can take a knife or something and you can kind of smooth them out. Try not to mix your colors right away. If you want to do the yellow first, probably works better. Then you can do your blue. It'll turn a little bit green. And there you go. It's a sugar bomb ready to eat. I hope you guys enjoy making your snacks today. Maybe if you have a few extra cookies, you could even give them to a neighbor.
Yeah, and if you have a lot of extra cookies, you could give them to me because I'll eat them too. But, actually, maybe just a neighbor or a friend. Those are so fancy. One thing that I'm amazed about this snack and yesterday's snack, I never thought that a Ziploc bag could be such a powerful decorating tool. Put an icing in and snipping the corner. That is brilliant. Brilliant engineering. The things that you can do with just normal household items. Well, I hope you've really... Do what?
I'm working on getting out of your way.
That's quite all right. I'll eat this nice cookie here. Oh, that's dough. No, I won't eat that one. Gotta cook it first. Well, today I'm going to show a new mission project that you can do at home. This is a mission project that will help quench the thirst of some of our neighbors who may be thirsty for water, or thirsty for love, or thirsty for all kinds of things. Have you ever felt yourself really, really thirsty, like on a hot day, and you just have to have some water? And then when you finally take that drink, you feel like you can just be at peace for a minute? Well, people feel like that in all sorts of ways. People that really do need water and just are thirsty, but people that are just thirsty for maybe a home to live in, or thirsty for a time in their life when they don't have to worry about money or how to buy food. Well, we have really special places in our community, like homeless shelters, or places that offer food to people who are hungry, who can just come in and eat without having to pay money for it. Well, we have a mission that we can do for people, our neighbors who go to places like that. We have a water bottle as a symbol of God's love, quenching their thirst for water, for love, for all sorts of things. And we have a couple of socks. They're going to be part of our gift. Well, we're going to take the water bottle and put it inside the first sock. Dun-dun-dun-dun. And then we're going to take that water bottle inside a sock and put it in a second sock. Bum-ba-da-dum. Now, do not go around and swing it like this, because it can make you feel really cool, but you could also hurt yourself or someone else. So don't do that. But, sorry if I just gave a bad idea. Well, and then we can take our string and we can tie it up like a gift, and then we can string our tag to it and write a nice message of love, like I love you, or may God be with you, something that can give peace. And then we can deliver this to a homeless shelter or to a place where people are fed, like Matt Talbot's Kitchen, just as an expression of our love to our neighbors and God's love to them. Well, I hope you find some great ways to share this gift with those in this community. Thanks.
Hi everyone, and welcome to our final rec challenge for our VBS this week. I'm Ella.
I'm Isla.
Hi everyone, and welcome to our final rec challenge for our VBS this week. I'm Ella.
I'm Isla.
And we hope you've had a wonderful time at VBS. We've had so many wonderful activities and snacks and stories. And for our final rec challenge, we're going to be doing kind of like what Jesus did in the story, where he walked on water. You get a chance to dip your feet and get wet and make some footprints of your own. So we brought out a pan and we put some water in it. And so what Isla's gonna do is dip her feet, and for an extra challenge, you can make a hopscotch along your sidewalk or driveway. Make sure you post a picture of whatever design or pattern you make. It feels really nice to be able to dip your feet in and just walk along with your footprints. Make sure you post a picture, and we hope to see you again soon. Next up, we have our song for the day, our new song called Giants of the Land. So stand up and let's sing. Bye everyone.
When temptation's big and my faith seems small, I remember to surrender to the one who's able to deliver me, my shield and my defender.
They may look big, they may look tall, but the bigger they come, the harder they fall. They may look big, they may look tall, but the bigger they come,
Sparky, did you see? The knights returned back with the shield of faith.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Sparky, do you know what the shield is used for, don't you?
I do. It protects you from flying objects.
That's right. A shield of faith means putting our faith in Jesus to protect us from unhelpful beliefs or thoughts.
Why do we need protection like that?
Well, sometimes words or thoughts cause us to doubt ourselves and even God. But the shield of faith is here to help us. Our faith in Jesus can help us keep those thoughts and fears away.
Yes, and we can depend on God to be with us no matter what.
Before we go, can we say our banner verse again?
Of course. Come on, everybody. Say it with me. Be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his power. Ephesians 6:10.
Great job, Knights, and Sparky too. What a great week we've had with all these friendly faces here at the North Castle.
Are they leaving already?
Yes, I'm afraid our week here is done, but it sure has been a lot of fun, hasn't it?
Absolutely. I sure will miss them.
Wow, what a week it has been here at the North Castle. I don't know about you, but this wasn't exactly the VBS I imagined that we would be having when we started planning back in January. But I have to tell you, thanks to all of you and all the amazing pictures you've been sending in and the stories and the videos that I've seen of all you guys having fun at home, you have made this VBS just as wonderful as every other year. You have helped make VBS, once again, my favorite week of the whole year. Thank you for helping us go on this incredible quest together. Thank you for helping us find all of these to finish out these amazing riddles and to hear all these stories. I hope you have fun today when you're at home doing these last little projects and these science projects. And I hope you take all of what you've learned with you as you go forward. Before we leave, let's say a prayer. Dear God, thank you for giving us the strength and courage to stand up for truth, to fight for justice, to be agents of peace. Help us as we go forward to continue to be faithful followers. We pray all of this in your holy name. Amen. We'll see you online. Bye, Knights.